Today, I just want to say a few more words about the psyche that I started to cover in a previous video, and I will continue to draw from some more of the information from the Predictions of Sfath from 1948, from this contact conversation with young Edward Meyer. And this free booklet is available on FIGU website. And it's with regard to the psyche and music, overpopulation. So I'm just gonna continue reading a little bit out of this document. So from sentence 266, halfway through the sentence, human beings become stunted and lose the value of being human from their sense, as well as the true meaning of love, whereby they become cold and unconcerned in their thoughts and feelings, and thereby obtuse in regard to their fellow human beings and their problems. This will take place especially from the 1980s, when the new sounds of so-called music will fall completely out of kind and will no longer have anything to do with harmony and music, because at this time a change to complete disharmony occurs in the consciousness of the human beings, which will also impair and damage the nerves as well as the entire cognition. In many human beings, these sounds will ruin the behavioral control system and call forth a negative transformation of information, which seriously damages the whole of the behavior in all who succumb to these disharmonious sounds. Everything will lead to the fact that many will be unable to cope with life and become aggressive, unconcerned, and out of touch with reality, which will extend to abandoning any sense of self-esteem and self-worth, because the sense of life will be seen only in the disharmony of the sounds which work destructively on the consciousness. In many respects, this then leads to hardship and misery, as well as to the fellow human beings no longer being respected and only being met with highly unworthy unconcernedness and not being given any assistance when they are in distress and need help. To the contrary, everything will lead to the human beings, according to the disharmonic sounds, becoming disharmonious within themselves and, owing to the complete unsatisfaction in regard to themselves, becoming self-destructive and stunted in themselves. And this will also affect the behavior towards fellow human beings, with the relations with them breaking and their well-being being completely disregarded as a result of indifference. This will result in the emergence of a radical malignancy which will be based in thoughtlessness, recklessness, neglect, lack of concern, unheedfulness, carelessness, unconsiderateness, lovelessness, uncarefulness, imprudence, irresponsibility, and inattentiveness, through which, in increasing wantonness, many fellow human beings will also be harmed, brutally maltreated, hit, robbed, and even beaten to death. The time of these happenings will also be that in which the negative outcoming effects of the advancing overpopulation are laid bare in the way that the law of nature effectively unfolds its regulation in such a form that many human beings will be harmed in their consciousness and body. From the 1960s onwards, a major problem will begin to affect the overpopulation human beings, making them suffer from and susceptible to many serious and often unhealable illnesses. Thereby more and more cancers and many forms of allergy, which assume even life-threatening stages, become the Great Plague, because due to an overbreeding and weakening of the humankind, a wide-reaching immunodeficiency affects very many human beings, and this will then continue well into the new millennium. As a result of the increasing overpopulation, it will also come about that human health impairments of the consciousness will take the upper hand, and a general weakness of the intelligence will spread, which will make human beings blunt towards reality, become irrational, stupid, and slowly stunted. Um, so, wow, that so those words are very blunt, true, potent, and anyone on this earth in the present time who has any kind of rationality and has their eyes open when they're out and about during the day can see this very clearly in our present age. This conversation with Sfath was from 1948, and these were the events that are unfolding today. And like I said, anyone with a clear rationality can recognize this today. I personally have had many experiences with people, um, especially with regard to the disharmonious sounds and music and the behavioral and mental um, effects that this has on the person. The inability of certain young people now who listen to this music to even care for a house plant or look after their own hygiene, anything like that, or even just to hold a normal, decent conversation with a family member or another human being is seemingly becoming more and more difficult for many people. And the sounds that people subject themselves to, that they call music nowadays, in many cases, is extremely damaging, not just to the individual, but to the immediate surroundings and also to the flora and the fauna as well. So, coming back to the psyche, I guess that these are also factors that we need to take into consideration when talking about the psyche, because also things that arise from the overpopulation, such as air pollution, the inadequate nutrition that human beings, what they call nutrition today, a lot of it is just chemically processed things that pass for food, but most of it's never even seen the soil anymore. Um, this also contributes to a negative thought, feeling state, a lack of health and well-being. So these factors also need to be looked at, and it doesn't take away the power from the individual human being. The human being should still learn to think in the correct way, and through this rational thinking, we can learn how to look after our nutrition, learn how to develop, create, or listen to harmonious, peaceful music, and we can take control of our own consciousness in that regard, our own health and well-being, to avoid people who display sociopathic tendencies or people who don't have our best interest in mind or want to harm us or exploit us, to stay clear of these people if possible, and to do our best to look after our own thoughts and feelings, listen to peaceful, harmonious music, take care of our nutrition, get a good balanced diet with all the necessary phytonutrients, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and so on and so forth, antioxidants, and everything that we need for a healthy, functioning body and a healthy brain, so that we have a healthy cognitive faculties that we can use, our rationality and our intellect, so that we can basically steer our way through this life and all the different hurdles that present themselves. So, yes, that's just what I wanted to share today. More from Sfath, very old wise man he was, and I'm very grateful for the hefty amount of information that was provided by Sfath when he was with us, and Edward, young Edward, for bringing this forward. I'm very grateful. So, for today, Salome.